Netflix's animated space adventure that shares a few things in common with The Mandalorian is so successful it's already been greenlit for a season 2, which will premiere shortly. Let's talk about My Dad, the Bounty Hunter. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the new Netflix series, My Dad, the Bounty Hunter. I say new, but it's actually been out a few months already, but season 2 is actually fast approaching. They've already got it, I think, already done and in the can, just waiting to release it. But August 17th will be the release date for season 2. So plenty of time to catch up on season 1 if you so desire. But I thought, you know what, with Father's Day coming up, it's called My Dad, the Bounty Hunter. Finally time for me to sit down and watch this thing and review it for you. So with that in mind, we'll get to the specifics of the show in just a second here and my thoughts on it. But first, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a ton of great TV and movie reviews for you to check out on the channel. I try to post something new just about every day for you too, at least 5 or 6 times a week, something like that. So please consider subscribing down below. Would love to have you aboard there, or just like this video, share it on your socials, comment down below. All that stuff does help the channel out. So all right, let's talk about this show, My Dad, the Bounty Hunter. Like I said, it premiered a few months ago, so all the episodes, of course, are up because it's Netflix. They all dropped at the same time. And like I mentioned, it is, a little bit Mandalorian-esque in its scope, I guess you could say, or at least, some of the plot things, mainly because this is a space adventure about a bounty hunter. So, definitely some shades there, right? But the difference here, well, there's a few differences, really, in addition to it being animated. But this is a little bit more of a family story. And specifically a black family. And Netflix was, I think, pretty resolute in having a mostly black writer's room for this show. And I think that shines through. It sets it apart from, not only a lot of other, animated shows out there, but really, sci-fi does not have a lot of, black families doing, sci-fi shows. Star Trek obviously had, black characters here and there, but this is as much, I think, a family show as it is a sci-fi space adventure. So you sort of merge those two worlds, and I think it works really well. Netflix kind of has a track record for me of being a bit hit or miss with their family animation. I used to do a weekly TV wrap-up every single week for years, and a lot of the kids and young adult programming I would tackle. And if memory serves, Netflix sort of shines at its best with the animated stuff, at least for kids and families, when it does have a kind of sci-fi or like time travel type element to it. But I think this one is probably even better than, even a lot of the higher end ones that I reviewed in those 2 years. This is a really, really good show. And I will say I kind of dropped off on The Mandalorian, partway through season 1. So I know I'm a bit, speaking out of turn on that. Maybe The Mandalorian has a lot of family stuff going on now, but in the first few episodes anyway, not so much, right? It was more about the adventure itself, and here it really is kind of equal parts, family drama, or not necessarily drama. There's some comedy elements too, which actually I think is something else that sets it apart from The Mandalorian. This is, a bit funnier. This is meant to be sort of a, an adventure comedy series. But so, it's about equal parts, family stuff and the space adventure stuff. So, the sort of gist of it is this guy, Terry, who is voiced by Laz Alonso. He is the father of 2, and he has secretly, concealed his job all of these years from his entire family, including his wife. But they learn in the first episode that he is indeed a bounty hunter. The kids kind of stow away, and so they're all, drawn into this space adventure with their father. The kids voiced by Priya Ferguson, who plays Lisa, his daughter, and then Sean, his son, voiced by Jacoby Swain. And they're, a bit of a mixed bag there with the kids, because they're kind of annoying, especially the son, actually. And I think that's the way they were designed. I think that's the way they were meant to be. So I can't necessarily blame the voice actors there. They're fine. Laz Alonso is, I don't know the actor, but he does a really good job, with the role. But the comedy in that regard is a little bit hit or miss. I think maybe I would have preferred if it was a bit more on the dramatic side, or maybe go all the way with the comedy. This is, try to kind of toe that line and not quite hit it. Or have, one of the kids who's maybe the main sort of comic relief character be kind of annoying. Didn't love that. But I do like that we're, seeing a lot of that family dynamic there. And there's been sort of a whole host of these types of shows lately where the father is kind of concealing his, secret job. This actually came before the two I'm about to mention, but CBS did their version of True Lies, which was an old, 90s movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and same kind of premise, not necessarily a space adventure, but, this guy's a secret agent and he's keeping it from his wife, and then she finds out and gets sort of dragged into the mix. And then, speaking of Arnold Schwarzenegger, Netflix's own Fubar, starring Arnold, which I just reviewed last week, very similar plot there too. Father and daughter, each part of, this secret job, and they find out about it. Oh, we're really doing the same thing, and, lying to each other for years. So then they have to work together. So obviously this is a type of idea that always sort of produces results. And that's why you get multiple versions of similar storylines, at the same time. But whatever, it does tend to work, more often, I guess, than it doesn't. Although this is by far the best of the shows I've mentioned here. But other than that, the animation is really, really gorgeous. It's very nice to look at. Good character design, including, and this is where as well, like, the Black Writers Room really kind of shines through. The even the hairstyles of the characters, specifically, the daughter who, I read something that the actress doing the voice work there sort of worked with the animators and stuff to kind of get a look that she was comfortable with, and so it has a different look than a lot of shows of this nature. And I think that works to its advantage. But yeah, definitely, I don't know if the comedy always worked for me here, but I think it's very telling that they're already pushing out a season 2, within about 6 months of the original's premiere. So obviously Netflix getting a lot of good feedback from this. I really enjoyed this show as well. I leave My Dad, the Bounty Hunter, with a B+. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time with another review on Dan Reviews It. Bye.